released video shows the former President Trump during an August deposition with the New York Attorney General's office. Trump was deposed as part of the Attorney General Letitia James' civil investigation to the Trump Organization's business practices. Former President invoked the Fifth more than 400 times.
I decline to answer the question. I decline to answer the question. Same answer, 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 same answer.
That was, yeah. In the deposition, the former President Trump also took swipes at his former personal attorney, Michael Cohen.
Letitia James relied on the testimony of Michael Cohen, a convicted felon and liar. This is the witness, a stone-cold loser, a real loser, that she used to justify her obsessive work.
So Cohen is a key figure in several investigations. A New York AG's investigation into Trump started after Cohen testified to Congress. This is in 2019. And when he said this.
It was my experience that Mr. Trump inflated his total assets when it served his purposes and deflated his assets to reduce his real estate taxes.
So here in Manhattan, the district attorney has convened a grand jury to present evidence in a revamped investigation to the effort to stop Stormy Daniels from going public about an alleged affair with Trump. Cohen facilitated the payments and was reimbursed by the Trump Organization. He pleaded guilty to 9 federal charges, including campaign finance violations, and was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Here's what Trump said in 2018 about the payment.
Do you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels? And why did Michael Cohen make it if there was no truth or allegation?
You have to ask Michael Cohen.
Trump's former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, joins me now. He is the author of the book Revenge. You can buy it now, and he is here to discuss what is going on. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you joining us. Listen, first of all, I want to get your response to the deposition that you just saw here, pleading the Fifth more than 400 times.
It's expected. I mean, Donald cannot keep track of the lies that he tells. And so what better way than to stop a fool from being deposed and hurting himself further than to tell him to plead the Fifth at least 400 times.
Yeah. So listen, shouldn't be a new investigation, but would you call it a revamped investigation now?
Yeah.
How would you describe it?
Let's say reinvigorated.
Reinvigorated. So your role in the Stormy Daniels payments, right? You call it a hush money payment. Remind our viewers what your role was.
So I was contacted by David Pecker in regard to Stormy Daniels. She then, and that goes back into early, the 2011 period, but then again, right before the election, I was then asked by Donald to handle it with Alan Weisselberg. Okay. And what that really meant for me was to resolve it. And so I did, but I did it at the direction of and for the benefit of Donald J. Trump.
David Pecker was the inquirer.
That's correct.
Right. Weisselberg
is the CFO of the Trump Organization.
Which has faced repercussions for...
And is now sitting in Rikers Island.
There you go. Okay, so a lot of this is centered on you, this reinvigorated investigation that you talk about. How were you contacted, and what happened with your interactions with the DA's office?
So I had dealt with the DA 13 times prior to my most recent revisit to the DA, my first time under the Bragg administration. They contacted me. Most recently, they asked for my cell phones because they want to be able to extract from it the voice recordings that I had had with Keith Davidson, former attorney to Stormy Daniels before, Michael Avenatti, as well as a bunch of emails, text messages, and so on. That way it could be used as evidence if, in fact, that they proceed forward, which I would suspect they are.
Well, you turned over a lot of information in the initial, because they searched your home and your property.
I didn't turn it over. I was raided by the FBI.
Okay.
They took it.
All right, so this is new stuff that you turned over to?
It's the same stuff, but it's new to the district attorney. They've seen some of it, but now they're in full possession of it.
Okay. People are wondering why Donald Trump has not faced any sort of repercussions for you went to prison, he did not. How do you view this investigation? What is his culpability here? Do you think that he will face consequences for this investigation?
So I've said all along that I thought the DA's case is by far the simplest to prove, and it is the most destructive to Donald Trump individually and to his business as well. I do believe that he will see repercussion for the first time in almost his entire life. We've seen quite a few cases now, whether it's Weisselberg's incarceration, whether it's the 17 counts against the Trump Organization, and now with the Attorney General's case. I think we're going to see a lot of repercussion to Donald.
Why do you believe that, and what does that look like?
Well, remember, the Attorney General's case is civil in nature, and people make the constant mistake of $250 million. That's the base that they're talking about. That's not the max. I think it'll be more in the neighborhood of $700 million, based upon at least the information that I know.
$700 million what? What do you mean?
In terms of fines.
$700
penalties
million
and
in fine.
That's correct. That's what I think that Tish James's case will ultimately demonstrate.
Why should anyone believe Michael Cohen? Michael Cohen is a convicted felon.
Yes, that's true. And I was convicted because the former president got his pecker pulled by a porn star. I was directed to go ahead and to pay the hush money payments, which I was reimbursed. I'm the only one that suffered. And in my book, I go into great length about the improper prosecution that I received. It was 48 hours that either you plead guilty or we file a 80-page indictment that includes your wife.